Let's get to this Brandon Straka thing for a moment.
Oh.
I mean, we really should. Because...
a lot of people are calling him Stooley Straka, but I don't think that's fair.
What are they calling him?
Stooley Straka.
Stooley?
Yeah.
Brandon Stooley?
Stool Pigeon Straka.
You remember Brandon Straka. He was the guy who claims that he was in tears when Donald Trump won. He was so upset. And then he saw the light, which coincided with a huge jump in his bank account.
Coincidence?
Well, I mean, sometimes when you understand what's really going on, the universe delivers for you.
It's karma.
Prosperity gospel.
Karma,
It's prosperity gospel. And he led what was known as the Walk Away campaign, which was wildly successful in 2018, but not for the candidates he was looking for it to help. The theory was that Brandon Straka had was that people would be walking away from the Democratic Party. They may have, but before they did, they voted for a Democratic candidate. And 2018 saw the highest turnout in an off-year election by Democrats in the history of off-year elections, I believe. And Republicans also broke a record, but just Democrats broke the record by even more. And the bottom line is this. There are more Democratic voters. And usually what happens during off-year elections like this, 3/4 of the Republicans come out, 2/3 of the Democrats come out. And that's more or less what happens. And so
but not in the case of the time period in which he was pushing this walk away.
It didn't really work that well. But here it is. He got arrested. He was at the insurrection at the Capitol. I don't know if he actually went inside, but there is video of him basically cheering people to go on into the Capitol. And he took some of that video of himself. You have the right to remain silent or not take selfie videos of yourself actually committing a crime. Now, so what happened was Straka gets arrested. He pleads guilty to one misdemeanor count of disorderly conduct, sentenced in January to 90 days of home detention and $5,000 in fines. Now, a lot of these other people got jail time.
Yeah,
and people were
some
wondering.
significant, wasn't there? A few pretty long ones.
Yes,
One just broke a record yesterday.
Well, that was 7 years, but that guy did not cop a plea. But there were some who copped a plea who got 5 years. I mean, there were people who and he managed not to. And people thought like, well, it's just because he's so charming. He was a former actor or really.
Attempted actor.
Maybe not necessarily a former actor, but like a formerly aspired to be an actor. And so charming guy and not necessarily too well-spoken. I've had an exchange with him. People can go back and look at that. I think we posted that at one point. I went on his show because we had been saying that he was like a grifter and this and that. And then he wanted me to say it to his face, and so I did. And I think that he achieved
How'd that go?
And then he called you an apathetic steamroller.
He said I was apathetically a steamroller. And I don't think just me. I think you were part of that too, man.
Yeah, I might have been part of that.
Anyways, he was posting messages, hold the line, during the attack on the Capitol, comparing January 6th to 1776.
They do that all the time.
Yep. And
just a reminder
the Civil War is
mythologizing
thematically.
He wrote in one tweet, I'm completely confused. For 6 to 8 weeks, everybody on the right has been saying 1776 and that if Congress moves forward, it will mean a revolution. So Congress moves forward. Patriots, storm the Capitol. Now everybody is virtue signaling their embarrassment that this happened. He wrote in a tweet. This is afterwards.
That's elaborating the logic of it.
And so Straka made this plea deal. U.S. Attorney Brittany Reed told a federal judge that Straka's conduct on January 6th was egregious. And despite a cooperation agreement that got him out of a felony civil disorder charge, he should not be lumped in with other defendants who were caught up in the heat of the moment. On Wednesday, unfortunately, there was Straka cooperated, and it got his sentence reduced. But nobody knew what the details of his cooperation were. Maybe it was like, I just turned myself in right away and was very cooperative when they were fingerprinting me. But no, it turns out that some of the filings related to Straka's sentencing that were sealed were unsealed following a request from a media coalition of which WUSA 9 is a member. And
we are grateful for that, effort.
And the documents included the substantial assistance sentencing memo that was filed by Straka's very own attorney. Straka's attorney said that Straka provided, quote, significant information to federal investigators over 3 interviews with the FBI following his arrest. In one interview, Straka, according to his lawyer, provided information about, quote, individuals who were inside of Nancy Pelosi's office, individuals who were inciters at the Capitol, and organizers of the Stop the Steal movement. Now, 3 categories of people, 2 of which I would say prima facie were doing something illegal, being inside of Nancy Pelosi's office and inciting the rioters at the Capitol. I mean, arguably the organizer of the Stop the Steal movement, that doesn't necessarily, that's, you know, you can organize something without it being a crime. He also listed the names of individuals Straka spoke to the FBI about, including rally organizers who Straka's attorney described as the prominent leader of the Stop the Steal movement. That would have been Ali Alexander.
Jack Dorsey's buddy.
The majority of people on Dornan's list have not been accused of any crimes related to January 6th, but several have been named in the ongoing January 6th committee investigation into the Capitol. So they're cooperating, and DOJ may not want to interfere with that cooperation as it is. Straka also gave contact information and other details about members of a Stop the Steal text thread that including, this is according to the lawyer's memo, Alexander and other right-wing personalities with large social media followings. He provided unspecified information about Tea Party Patriots co-founders and an anti-vax doctor who are both affiliated with America's Frontline Doctors, one of whom was charged, like Straka, in connection with the riot. Sentenced to 60 days in jail, that person. Straka also provided FBI investigators with information about a fellow Nebraska resident who had not been previously identified. Straka provided the FBI information, quote, sufficient to convict the previously unidentified individual. To date, that individual has not been charged in connection with the riot at this point. And there is still apparently an unsealed portion of the filing that we have yet to be seen. And so what I did not realize, we did know that Brandon Straka wanted to be an actor. What we did not realize was how good his singing voice was. And
like a canary.
Well, they say, yes.
Cooperate away.
Yes. And but
he can sing and walk away from prison time at the same time.
Very well done. Yes. He can sing and walk at the same time. And
talented guy.
Well, let's put up some of his tweets saying that all he did. Can we put up this is his explanation, which of course everyone knows. U.S. attorneys are willing to give you a reduced sentence that everybody else is going to jail for if they find you to be the kind of friend who is complimentary about your friends. That is a little known sort of prosecutorial tick that they have. Do we have that clip?
It's like being in kindergarten or pre-K. If you share with your friends, you might get a cookie. You get rewarded.
That's right. And what Straka claimed that he did, and we'll pull up his tweet. We'll pull up this tweet of Straka's where he says, people don't understand what's going on here. All I did was tell the FBI and the Justice Department how innocent my friends were.
So I can't find the tweet where he says this. I don't know if it was.
Well, maybe he says it on his page or.
He says there is nothing wrong. He says.
Where does he say this?
This is in this Yahoo article here. He says there is nothing wrong with talking to the DOJ and telling them your friends are innocent. I hope. People pulled it.
Now, I mean, and not only is there nothing wrong, apparently they will reward you for cooperating and telling you, everybody that is innocent. So he probably listed not just the people who are there. I would imagine he listed all his friends who are innocent.
Yeah, this was a post on Jason Miller, the former Trump official's social media site Getter. That's I think why it was on.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't on Twitter.
Naturally.
Are there still people on Getter? I guess. If you post on Getter, does it make a sound? Only if. But now this is common practice. And sometimes, like I mentioned earlier in the show, I have visited the both NYPD and U.S. Attorney's Office and the State Attorney General's Office, and gone in there and announced that you guys all innocent.
Oh, and all those investigators had time for that?
They were like, thank you for telling us. We got to we can add them to the big board of innocent people. And because that's the way it works.
That helped. That helped clear my arrest record. Thank you.
This is like that. That part in The Sopranos where like I just went in there and I told them all that you guys are straight arrows. Dear Patriots, this is written by Brandon. Brandon Straka put out a press release on, and he did this on Getter. Dear Patriots, warning. This is going to be one of the most honest, frank, and possibly expletive-laden posts I've ever sent. So look, folks.
Buckle up.
I mean, buckle up.
Wow.
Not safe for work.
So he can, we know he can sing, we know he can walk away, which is a form of dancing, and he can write. Does that count as a triple threat?
Yesterday morning, sealed documents from my criminal case were leaked to the liberal media. Well, also the conservative media. I think that must be the issue, right? Because if it was just the liberal media, then you wouldn't be too worried about who's going to read it. It has several pages of court documents that included names of people I had discussions with about the DOJ, about. That's weird. I had discussions with the DOJ about. English was not. He's a much better singer than he is a writer. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, the scripts, I mean, he doesn't write the scripts.
The majority of people on the list of names are my friends. Some are close friends. The documents are fairly vague. They refer to me as, quote, providing information about many of the people on that list. This is technically true, since any and all statements are information.
Yeah. Ali Alexander, he is an excellent chef.
Yes. Of course, the media is wasting no time, once again, with the snitch narrative. Once again, wasting no time on the snitch narrative?
This is the first I remember of that narrative applied to him, at least.
Applied to him, I guess. I don't know. And then also, of course, there's a small sect of right-wing fans of mine who buy into this. I was feeling upset about that tonight, so I actually called for the people on the list of names that I, quote, provided information on. Let me start by saying that we all had a hearty laugh at the situation and the innuendos. So let's
the innuendos.
This is me and all my friends laughing off screen.
Yeah, exactly. I will do a little play of that. Like, Hey guys, they think that I turned state's information.
I mean,
I would never do that.
it says enough that he felt insecure enough that he had to call in the first
I'm
place.
just calling, just check in with you guys.
I knew we were going to laugh, but I just wanted to call to make sure.
You guys aren't in prison now, are you? You're not mad or anything like that, right? Because I, of course, I just said, I was like, these guys are great. They're really nice. Okay, and so let me start by saying we all had a hearty laugh at the situation and the innuendos, but it was Cindy Chafin who gave me the best advice at all. F 'em, she said. I replied, yeah, but Cindy, before January 6th, I had a squeaky clean reputation and I was liked by everybody. And she said, Brandon, not everybody's going to like you, so just say F 'em and keep going.
Oh, that's inspirational.
To me, F them and keep going. Maybe we could put that on a t-shirt. To me, making the choice to sit down and answer questions was a no-brainer. Nobody I know committed any crimes, and I have no evidence of any criminal wrongdoing from anybody. I've maintained that since the beginning. Why would I not sit and answer questions about how my friends did nothing wrong? Question mark, question mark. Oh, and for the record, a few people on the list of names that were leaked are actually people I don't like at all. Because I think they're not good people. I have nothing to report on them either. The situation is laughable.
Would have excised that part.
Yeah. Also, remember, when the FBI raided me, I was handcuffed immediately, then presented with a search warrant, and agents took my phones, computers, iPads, hard drives. So what does this mean? It means they already knew the names, numbers, and info of the people they had questions about. They read our text messages, our social media chats, all from my phone. Some even had voice messages. It's highly invasive, of course, but the point is, and this is all caps, through all of this, they found no evidence of criminal wrongdoing in regards to any of these people. And why? Because they didn't commit crimes. And as you know, recently Steve Bannon was indicted and convicted for refusing to appear to answer questions in the Donald Trump witch hunt. I like Steve very much, and I consider him a friend. He's always been very good to me. I respect his decision to do what he did, but I have to say, I don't agree with this approach at all. There was no plot on January 6th. It only creates suspicion and lends credibility to stupid people's beliefs that there have been crimes that need to be hidden. Nobody that I answered questions about was arrested. Yet. As far as I know, none were visited. Yet. One of the names on the list was Simon Gold, now a friend of mine, and Simon was arrested and charged before I was. At the time of January 6th, we barely knew each other.
There's a whole second page to that also.
Are we doing the second page?
I think we can back that. I think we've done him right. So there it is. Patriots, as you know,
I would want to know if I was a guy who showed up because I was, say, subscribed to somebody like Brandon Straka and hearing him say things like hold the line and what about 1776 guys, why I got a heavy sentence and why the media ringmasters seem to be getting out. And right now, Brandon Straka is on his way to campaign for Kerry Lake. He was just doing it for Tudor Dixon, so he's just a Republican operative. And it seems like he's a made man as opposed to these people in his audience that he's allowed to froth up, but then, walk away from.
He seems to be very, very concerned about people thinking that he did exactly what he did, which was talk to the authorities about his friends. But he said only nice things about them. And that's why they gave him a reduced sentence. So there you go.
Being such a good guy.
The investigators like, thank you, Brandon. We just wanted to make sure Ali Alexander was super cool.
Yeah, we also just wanted to make sure you were a good friend.
And corroborate these text messages that we got from you.
Also, take your wire off.